What's going on, guys? Vin Ferrante, What Would Vinny Do podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. So tonight's first order of business, I want to thank my long-term friend, Mr. Pete Newbig, for being on. Amazing journey, amazing info for anyone in any business. If you didn't get a chance to listen, go to my YouTube page, What Would Vinny Do? Subscribe. Podcast episode 2, some quality insight. Just hearing the journey. I mean, his whole journey, I loved it. If you're trying to make it in any field, I'm sure you're going to get something out of it and appreciate it. I got all the great guests lined up, some quality people going all in at whatever it is they do, making it happen. Speaking of making it happen, I got some news today about someone making it happen, and it's kind of a proud dad moment for me. My middle guy, Little Vin, is in 8th grade, and he's looking at 3 high schools. And today I got a call from one of the ones he's looking at, and they offered him a Med Leadership program, which is amazing. From what I understand, it gets offered to 6 out of 600 kids, and I'm just very proud of them. I'm blessed with amazing children, very grateful. So I take him out to celebrate. We go to a steakhouse. He gets a little surf and turf, and I'm just like, Vin, how do you get so good at math? Because I can't even divide fractions. And he's like, Dad, I just get it. Again, great kid, proud dad. Usually people, like, again, when the great ones, they make it look easy. He makes it look easy, but I know he puts in the work. Just like all the people on the show put in the work. It's the common thread that we're going to have with all our guests. I mean, the best sports guys just outwork everybody else, from the first one in the gym, last one to leave. I always have that picture of Larry Bird running around the Boston Garden at the beginning, and he just got there to practice an hour before everybody and ran laps. And then, of course, he'd be the last one shooting. And again, so hard work and effort. Most people know that's what you need to kind of be successful and to get to the top of your game. It takes a lot. But there's another important piece to this. So if you listened to Pete last week, and if you didn't listen, it's going to kind of be a spoiler, but you should have listened, so too bad. But no. But there's actually, I'm going to touch on a couple of things. So we established to be successful, you got to work hard, right? So I asked my kids, you want to improve in basketball? I asked realtors on my team, on my real estate team, you want to be a better agent? You want to be the best in the office? Everybody says yes. My kids say yes. Of course, everybody, they want to be good in basketball. So it's great to want to be great, right? You want to be the best. But what are you going to put in place? What are you actually going to do for that to become reality? What steps are you going to take? If it's basketball, are you going to dribble 2 hours a day? Are you going to go to the gym, get stronger in the off season? And I say this to my kids. Are you going to run and build your endurance? I actually remember someone telling me that they remembered me as a kid walking to the park every day with my ball, dribbling with my left hand. I practiced so much with my offhand, it became my more dominant hand when I played. So if it's the same thing in sales, right? Are you gonna prospect more? What are you gonna do to become better? Are you gonna door knock? Are you gonna do something you're not doing already? Are you gonna send out more mailers? Are you gonna follow up better? What's the action play to back up what you're saying? Right? So realtors know what I'm talking about. I think people think that if they lie to themselves, then it becomes true. I see realtors doing this all the time. Like, they do one transaction and they're talking like they're the top agent in the office. And especially with social media, I mean, it's hard to tell like who's really doing what. You would think a guy is one of the best agents in the neighborhood. Meanwhile, they're doing a couple of transactions a year. So do your research. That goes back to that. So when you're going to sell your house, please do your research. Look into who you're selecting. Interview a few people when you're trying to sell your most valuable asset of your life. I can't stress that enough. I might say it every week just to get it in your head. If you're thinking of buying or selling, make sure you're working with a person who specializes in what you're looking to do. So again, you want to be great. You say you want to be great. but you kind of got to put a plan together to execute it, like most of the people do on the show. If you listen to Pete, I mean, he was reading titles of books. He was hanging out with other people successful in his field. He was taking classes and he was doing things to get better at his craft. And you gotta actually, for me, I'll even write down stuff at the end of the year for the next year that I want to accomplish. Make a list and just put stuff on there. What are you going to do to improve yourself? I remember some of the stuff I put on the list. I wanted to grow my real estate team. And every day I would look at that and I would say, how am I going to do that? Now you got to take the steps to do it, because it's one thing to say it, but then you got to make it come to fruition. I mean, and it doesn't have to be about business. I remember having on the list, I had like 10 things on the list. I would write it in about October. Talk about spending more time with my kids. It doesn't need to be all business. I actually, you can keep it fun too. I put on the list to get a straight flush in 3-card poker, and I actually did it. I was in Atlantis, and I got a straight flush in 3-card poker, and I had it on my list. So, I mean, I had about 10 things on the list, and I think I hit about 7 or 8 of them. You got to envision it for it to actually happen. And there's a book that I love. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's about that premise. And for anybody who read it knows what I'm talking about. And if not, it's definitely something that I recommend. It's a great read. It's about seeing it, and I'm not going to go into exactly what happens, but it's about seeing and believing it could happen. And if you don't believe it, you really have no shot. So you kind of have to envision executing it, actually putting in a plan to get to where you want to go, what steps you're going to take, like I said. So the other big component to this, and I know a lot of people struggle with this one, besides planning and executing, besides just talking, it's taking risks. So Peter, he mentioned on the show, besides the hard work and effort, and he slipped it in there, and I don't know if a lot of people realize it, he lost his life savings. So, and I'm not talking about $10,000. I'm not talking about $20,000. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. He bought buildings, and he lost his money. It didn't go well, and he lost his money, and he survived, and he came back like stronger, smarter. I mean, my man John Kelly, a mortgage broker who I work with, he's a friend. He talks about a few different businesses, how he crashed. 9/11 affected his business, and he was able to come back because, you gotta just take chances. You come back stronger. Next week's guest, Jamal Hattie, he opened up a real estate office while the market was imploding. So everybody around you got people who support you, telling you it's a bad move, and you're willing to go with your gut, and you're nervous, and of course you don't know how things are going to turn out, but you got to take that. You got to come out of your comfort zone. What is it? The great Wayne Gretzky said, it's one of my favorite quotes. You miss 100% of the shots you never take, and I love that. And it's something to live by. I mean, if the great one said it, I mean, that's, there's actually another saying, and I love this one as well. It's a little less common than Gretzky, and I don't even know who said it, but it always stuck in my head. And it was back in the days, they used to hunt monkeys, and they would actually make a hole in the wall, and the monkey would stick his arm through the wall, and they would give it peanuts. And when the monkey got the peanuts, he'd make a fist. And now when he went to pull the fist through the wall, it didn't fit because it was in a fist, so it wouldn't. And the monkey would actually starve to death holding on to the peanuts. So I guess you got to let go of the peanuts sometimes. And the peanuts meant so much to the monkey that it was willing to starve to death. And you just got to let go of the peanuts. And I envision that as you have some money saved, and you're just scared to lose it, that you're just going to hold on to it so tight that you're not willing to invest that money and put it in something and take a chance, So I also, if you ever watch playoff baseball, I'm going to do a lot of sports analogies because obviously I like sports, but playoff baseball, it's a big game. It's a ninth inning, 2 outs. You're all tense. Your favorite team is playing against a team you really don't like, It's whoever's up at bat. It's 3-2. It could be your favorite player. It could be nobody. It counts 3-2, and the pitch comes in. Bam, called strike 3. The bat never moves off the guy's shoulder. You feel sick. You're like cheated. I remember it happened with someone on the Mets, and I still remember this. I wasn't even a Met fan. I think it was what's his name, Carlos Baerga or someone, and he just kept the bat on his shoulder. I was sick. Like, I would rather see the bat swing early, go flying into right field, the guy fall on the floor, than to just have him not swing at the ball. So don't leave the bat on your shoulders, folks. Don't cheat yourself. Stand firm, put all your force into it, and swing that bat. And if you miss it, it's all good. You went down swinging. Stop worrying about what other people think, and be your best you in whatever you do. If you go through life comfortable, you cannot grow. When I was at my first job as a letter carrier, one of my bosses kind of made life rough on me. I used it as motivation to work on my other business, to really get the real estate going off the ground. So I didn't need that. And he was actually better for me than the bosses were nice. When the bosses were, when I was comfortable, I didn't feel the urgency to do something. He created that urgency in me, you know. Anytime I've had a problem, I've honestly come to appreciate problems. And sometimes people are put in your place to make you uncomfortable, to make you grow. When I used to play ball, I always go back to that. 90% of the guys, like, it's a neighborhood league and we're all friends, and you'll always get one or two guys that just talk a little smack. Usually guys that are not good too, that talk the most. That's the funny part about it. But they talk a little, they do a little dirty stuff. Those were actually the guys that kept you focused and motivated, and you made sure you were in shape because you didn't want to lose to them because you knew they were going to talk. So sometimes problems could be good if you deal with them, you know. So if there's something right now that's really upsetting you, take a step back and try to figure things out. It may be telling you it's time to start that new business, go for that promotion, take that next step in your life. I know it sounds crazy, but problems can be a good thing if you use it to motivate yourself instead of sitting inside it and letting it get the best of you. We're all gonna have problems. Like, that's a part of life. Look around. You pay attention to people. You think successful people don't have problems? They probably have more stuff going on than you. They just deal with it a lot better, believe me. Speaking of dealing with things a lot better, I'm not really a big TV guy. I watch sporting events, especially playoff sports. I honestly don't have time, so normally I'll pick one show, and I'll just try to watch it. Half the time I lose interest. I won't even follow through. But I've actually found a show that I really love, and I got to talk about it. You know, it's called Ozark. So, like I said, I do this one show. It's so good that I don't even want to binge watch it because I never want it to end. Jason Bateman is the lead. I believe he directed some of them. The characters are all very interesting. It's fast paced. I mean, the way he handles stuff. The character's name is Marty Bird. He just doesn't take things personal. He doesn't react to things. People who do wrong by him, he's able to then actually make them allies, and they end up helping him after that fact. I remember people who stole like stuff from me in 5th grade. I'm still mad at them. So that's something I got to work on. So people do stuff to Jason Bateman on his show, on his character, that a normal person would have a hard time getting over. I mean, he not only gets over it, he actually ends up, like, the people who screw him end up saving his life and being like his ally. Like, he just handles stuff. It's like Grace Under Fire. There's crazy stuff going on. Sometimes when I'm having bad days in business, I actually like to think, how would Marty Bird handle this? I think it's anyone named Bird with me. It's just like between Marty Bird and Larry Bird, except Greg Bird on the Yankees. He's not that good, but Marty Bird and Larry Bird are really like. So yeah, I mean, the character's amazing. The show's amazing. Check it out, Ozark. It's definitely worth it. Take some risks. Stop talking about doing stuff and actually do it. That's your next assignment. To anyone listening, I'm going to come back and ask you what you did to help yourself grow. Speak in front of people. If that's the thing that makes you nervous, do it. I'm telling you. Sometimes I'll give a class at the real estate office just for that reason, because I know I'm not comfortable speaking in front of people. So I decided to do a class. Then I got that also, what do they say? The best way to learn something is to teach it. So you got to actually learn it, because you don't want to be embarrass yourself when there's a class full of people. So that's actually the best way to learn something, is to teach something. I don't know, but I've been doing that for a while now. Invest in that property. Like, don't always think about everything bad that can happen. Like, a lot of times I had friends, I told them, let's invest. I mean, the things that they said to come up with reasons why we shouldn't do it, I just got to the point where I was like, forget it. Maybe you're not the wrong person. You're the wrong person to be in business with. What if there's an earthquake? What if there's a tsunami? Yeah, are we gonna lose the house? All stuff like that. So you can't think of all the negative that's gonna happen. Negative things happen in every situation, and you just got to get through it and just move on. And you're gonna hear that from a lot of our guests. Trust me. A lot of negative stuff happened before it became positive, and they just fell forward and just grew from it. What do I call that? Preparing to prepare. Stop doing that. You read enough self-help books. Just execute on things. So start that business. Don't wait for your kids to finish school. Don't wait for lunar eclipse. Tell that person how you feel. Take that trip. My dad retired. Don't wait till you retire. My dad retired at 62, passed away at 66. So time is our most valuable asset. Use it wisely. That's really it for this week. I want to thank everyone for listening and commenting, all the support and positive feedback. Keep it coming. You got a question for me or one of my guests, comment on What Would Vinny Do Facebook page, or email me at vinny@whatwouldvinnydo.com. Next week's guest is going to be amazing. Humble guy, almost too humble. I tell him, if you could be. He's been a friend for over 10 years. He's my broker, Mr. Jamal Hattie. Great businessman, great leader. It's going to be amazing. So tune in next Thursday. I believe it's the January 24th at 8 p.m. Going to be a great show. So tonight I don't have anybody on to do my favorite NBA player, my favorite rapper, and my favorite rap album. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Will, who sent some great comments. I want to thank you first, Will, for tuning in. He just started at KW 3 months ago. I see big things for him. Great mindset, definitely hustler. So he gave us his rap album. Actually is our Star Wars player. It's Mike Jordan. Can't argue with that. That's usually what people pick. His best rapper was Black Thought from The Roots. Love it. So rap album, he picked Outkast, ATLiens. I like Outkast. I gotta admit, I'm not really well versed in all of their stuff, but I know they're definitely lyrical, and I know that they're very original stuff. And so that's that. Thanks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Check out next Thursday. What Would Vinny Do? Thank you.